We are Jake and Emily, and we are definitely not a perfect family. I did not grow up going to church. I did find Jesus later on into college. Got to know him a little bit. I trusted him, but I did not put my full faith into him. Did not live out what he was honestly calling me to do. Dealt with a lot of shame throughout my life, and carried that on for about the next 10 years until Emily and I met.
And previously for me, I did not have a relationship with Jesus. I kind of dabbled in it a little bit, and I would go to like a youth group in high school for a little bit, even went as far as I thought I needed a Bible, so I bought a Bible and just had no idea like where to start. And I think I let like my pride get the best of me because I wanted to know more about him, but I just didn't know like if I was going to answer or ask the right questions. So about 4 months ago, I was deployed for about 6 months. And during that time that I was gone, we kind of noticed that we were kind of growing apart a lot, and just kind of felt lost and broken. And by the time I came back home to each other, we were pretty unrecognizable, and we weren't even really too sure like how we were even going to be able to fix this marriage.
Yeah, I'll be honest. At that point, I did not know if we would continue being married. Felt completely lost, and just a few weeks before that, I had driven by the church right outside. I'd looked over and seen the building, and I thought, man, that's a very unique name for a church, Grace Point. So I went home and looked it up online, and I liked what I saw and decided to come in for a service. And when I came here, I didn't want to wait until a Sunday. This happened, and it was a Wednesday morning, and I was like, we need help right now. And I decided that, hey, I'm going to church, and she had said that she had wanted to come with me as well.
I figured like that was where he decided that he was going to go get help, and I figured if that was where he was getting help, that was maybe a place where I could get help as well. I just had nowhere to turn.
Yeah, so we drove to Grace Point, and when we got to the front door, the door was locked. But I saw cars in the parking lot, and I knew that there were people in here. And I was going to find a way that I could get in there to talk to somebody. So I went around to almost every door in the building, and it was all locked. Then ended up finding an HVAC guy that was trying to get in the front door, and ended up sliding in right behind him and slipping into the church. And I ultimately ended up finding a room with a group of people in there, and I knocked on the door, and it turned out it was the weekly staff meeting that I had interrupted, and I was very apologetic for that. But Ed was the first one that came out, and I told him, Ed, like, I'm broken, we're broken, and we need some help right now. And during that time, Heather and Paul were able to sit there and walk us through some of the hardest times in our marriage and our lives. So Reagan and I ended up meeting at breakfast a few days later, and during that time, I got to share with him things that I had been struggling with in my life, and things that we were struggling with in our marriage. We were broken. And I honestly didn't see our relationship potentially continuing. But Reagan had told me that this was going to be a turning point in our lives and our marriage. At first, I didn't see it, but over the next several days to weeks, it really started to come together that we can continue to do this. So over the next week or so, I ended up sharing with Emily my testimony, my previous relationship with Jesus, and we would go on walks in parks and have real long conversations and start doing Bible studies with the Bible app. We started out doing a marriage Bible study in Ephesians, and really just being open and vulnerable with each other of our inadequacies and things that we're falling short on, and looking for help in so many various ways through the Word and through prayer is really the biggest thing.
And so it was about the second or third service that I had went to, and Reagan was doing a study on 2 Corinthians and talking about how you can have this new life and just leave all of your past behind. And I just thought to myself, I need to do that. I can't keep living this way. So Jake and I went up to Reagan during service, and I surrendered my life to Jesus. And, in that same kind of thought, just thought to myself, I think we just need to solidify this, by getting baptized. And so then we went and found Reagan and said, we're getting baptized. And he asked if we had a change of clothes, and we said no. And he looked at us crazy, and they tried to offer us shirts, and we're like, we'll just walk out in what we're wearing, because that's just how our relationship has been.
You guys, this is Jake Bohanan. Would you guys say, hey, Jake, to get to baptize you as my brother in Christ? Are you ready? In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
And so I got baptized, and not only got baptized, I was able to get baptized by Jake, and I thought that was just the icing on top of this whole story. So if you would have told me 4 months ago that this would have been my life now, I would have said you're crazy, because I never would have imagined that we would be, doing a Bible study or just reading our Bible in the beginning of our day at 5 a.m. and ending it at night with a nightly devotional.
Yeah. One book that really was instrumental was the Jesus Follower book that we found out in the lobby. And it's really able to break things down, and it's just very simple about what it is like to follow Jesus. And it was instrumental to us. We ended up getting plugged in and getting invited to a grace group for young adults. And that's been instrumental, being with other believers, hearing other people's stories, and just knowing that we're not alone in this life. And getting out and serving in the community. This isn't just something that you just, or at least not for us, we don't just come to church on Sunday. This is something that we've implemented in every aspect of our life.
I think my biggest piece of advice is, if you think that you are too broken or too far gone and God's not going to want you, you're definitely wrong. It's never too late to turn to Him and look for guidance, help, salvation, because He wants you at your highest, and He wants you at your lowest.
We are Jake and Emily, and we're here because of His grace.